ATM again. Mama needs more money. These are my friends. This shitty ATM ate my card and I was crying on the street. Aussies, New Zealand. Hey, you want to say your names?
Carissa, Tony, and I'm Anna.
Anna, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for saving my life.
Don't do each other. We saved your life. We're not that dramatic.
Oh my god, so I'm getting ready. I gotta go get my tattoo. ATM ate my bank card. I was actually trying to take cash out to get some snacks before I went, but apparently I can't do that because it ate my card. I don't have a lot of cash left. Tomorrow's my last day here. The 3 girls that helped me, thank you so much. Tony, Carissa, and then there was one other girl that helped me, so thank you so much if you helped me. Like, I'll talk about it later, but I have to get my stuff ready, make sure I don't forget anything. Thank you so much, because without you guys, I would have been screwed. And I have a lot of tips to give you guys. I think I'm gonna make a whole Bali video and tips and, you know, mistakes that I've made, things that I've learned, so you don't have to repeat that if you end up going to Bali. But I'm gonna get my stuff ready here because my tattoo appointment is in 30 minutes and I hope I'm not late. Yeah, get tattoos here. There's lots of talented people.
Best.
Yeah. Say it again.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah. Best in the business, man.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Alright, boys and girls, we're gonna talk about today, even though I look like shit and my hair is a little crazy, but that is gonna explain how my day went. I'm gonna put a sweatshirt on, I'm cold. Anyways, so this morning I wake up, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, thought about going for a swim in the ocean. I was like, oh, maybe I can catch another sunrise before I leave, right? Well, my slow ass gets ready, take a shower. I was gonna take one. No, did I take a shower today? I think that was last night. No, anyway. I had to get myself ready, journaled, whatever, did my little thing, the shindig this morning. And then by the time I realized it, oh, the place that I wanted to eat at was serving breakfast at 7:30. And by the time I looked at my clock, it was almost 8. So I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna go get something to eat. And it looked like a really cute, nice restaurant, which it was. There's a fly. Ha, got you, sucker. Try not to curse on here. Don't want to get demonetized before I'm monetized. And it was lovely. It was a lovely morning. There was nobody there when I first got there. I was the only person in sight. The staff was incredibly kind. And that's sort of when you saw me in the ATM booth. And that's kind of where things started to take a sour turn. I put in my card, my debit card, stuck it in the machine, and the machine ate it. It wasn't taking my PIN number, it ate my card. I'm like, it's how I pay for stuff. How the hell, like, what am I gonna do, you know? Like, for some reason, the app for my credit card wouldn't let me in on it because I'm in a different country. It's some safety feature, which is a good thing, but it was bad for me because I was like, shit, I hope I have enough money. So it locks up my card. This one guy from Australia is trying to help me. Like, when I am in a panic state, this is one thing that I've really been working on. When I'm in a panic state, I'm like, I can't think. I was panicking. Like, I was anxious. Like, this whole morning I've been struggling with anxiety. And I'm like, finally, you know, I'm gonna get some cash out. Maybe I can give my tattoo artist a decent tip or whatever, because I appreciate artists and their time. Well, it locks up my card, and the Australian guy was trying to help me, and then I went over to the hotel staff. They tried calling the number. Like, granted, like, I only have pocket Wi-Fi. I can't call anybody in Indonesia because my cell phone service provider doesn't do international calling. They don't have an international phone plan. So here I am stuck like Chuck, and I'm like, shit, I really should have got that SIM card that I didn't get, but I felt like I should have needed it. So here I am trying to manage my emotions, 31 years old. I sit outside of the ATM and I'm like, I'm not leaving this machine because I want my card back. And I sat there just defeated, and I started crying, and these 3 girls walked by me, which you saw in the video. And yeah, the 3 girls from Australia. So Carissa, Anna, and Tony, they all stopped. Carissa is the one who asked me, she's like, are you okay? Because she looked at me and she said hi, which, you know, was very kind of her. And I had tears in my eyes. I'm like, I'm crying in public. This is embarrassing, but I couldn't help it because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't call anywhere. I couldn't get on my app. I couldn't do nothing. I was screwed. And so they were kind enough to let me use their phone, while I ended up getting a hold of my bank like the after hours and canceling my debit card. Great. I can move on with my life. I'll figure out the rest later. I should have enough cash, I'm thinking. I was like, you know what? I'll just use my credit card for the tattoo instead of my debit card. And I'm getting my tattoo done, and something's not sitting right with me. I'm like, God, I feel like something isn't right. Like, not like in a bad way where like somebody took my card. Granted, knock on wood, I hope to freaking God that didn't happen. So I'm in the middle of getting my tattoo, and I bump into this guy who's from Colorado, and his name is Marco, right? Marco's one of the few Americans that I ran into. So I order my food, and I go in my wallet to get my credit card to pay for my food. It wasn't there, but my debit card was from my bank that I canceled today. And so I start panicking again inside of my head, and I'm like, what am I gonna, like, what? This is embarrassing. I'm halfway, like, quarter way, have a tattoo done on my leg. I am the person in my life where I pay for stuff on time. I pay for my own way. I pay for my own stuff. I always figure out a way to pay for my stuff. And I was like, I'm not gonna let this ruin my day, because earlier the girls from Australia really turned my day around. It didn't take a lot to like talk me off the ledge, because I'm still guilty. It's something I'm working on. Try not to let a minor inconvenience ruin my day, right? So I end up bumping into him. We're BSing or whatever, and we're talking, like, you know, shooting the shit. And my food arrives, and that's when I realized about my cards, and I was like, okay, Tyler, you gotta think quick, because I didn't know how much money I had on me or whatever. And I looked at, well, this was right before my food came, because that's when I was gonna get my card to pay for it. And I asked Marco, I was like, hey, this is really embarrassing, but do you have Venmo? And I told him what happened. He kind of looked a little sus about it, and I was like, I can Venmo you the money, whatever. So I'm sitting here trying to Venmo the money. He pays for my tattoo, right? Kind gesture. I ran into nothing but kind people, and I wouldn't have got, I'm getting emotional about this because I'm trying to be positive, but it's been a tough day. And these are all learning lessons. This is all stuff that I learned while traveling. So maybe I'm definitely gonna make a video about travel tips and what to do, and don't make the same stupid mistakes as I did, because my first time traveling alone by myself anyway. Cut to the chase. My Venmo's not working to transfer money to Marco. And he ends up paying for the tattoo, and then I'm like panicking inside of my head. I was like, oh my God, it looks like I'm lying. He probably thinks I'm like scamming him. Like, all these scenarios are running in my head, like how he was gonna perceive me as being, because it's not who I am. It's not my nature to screw people over. And I wouldn't have. I looked at him and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Venmo's not going through. It took 3 tries and it finally went through. And I will tell you what, I shouldn't say never, but that is one of the most embarrassing moments of my life, was not knowing what the F to do, and I had a stranger involved. So that went through, so I cleared the air. My food arrives and he's like, well, do you need money for food? He was just super freaking nice. So Marco, if you're watching this, thank you for saving my ass, just like the other girls. I looked in my wallet and I had just enough cash to spare like $3. 3,000 rupees, which was not a lot in US. So I'm getting my tattoo done and I have no money for food after that. Like I ate lunch, I can't eat dinner, I have no money. I have no way of getting food. I just thought of something. Since my card is on one of the apps, my credit card that's locked in a freaking ATM, I could probably order food in the morning if I really need to, because I probably should eat having a tattoo. So to top it off, I get out of the drive, thank God my credit card was on file. Like all of this stuff, I've been following my intuition, and if I followed it more, I wouldn't be in this situation, because something told me, Tyler, check and make sure that it's the right card that you're canceling. I was flustered, I wasn't thinking, I couldn't think for myself. That's how anxious I was, and that doesn't happen a lot. And it's embarrassing to admit, but it's the truth. Anyway, so I get out of the car after I get my tattoo done, and I'm like, I have no water. I ran out, I had just a slurp left. And I was like, well, if I'm not eating, I at least need to be hydrated. And I was looking through my wallet and I had 3,000 rupiah, which is not a lot of money. It's not enough to buy a water. And so I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, I've been praying this whole time, and this whole trip has been based around following your intuition and listening to God. I was praying, I was like, God, if I just have enough. I just had a feeling that I would just have enough. And then I found 10,000 rupiah in my wallet, and I was able to buy this water. Thank God, because I would have been freaking dehydrated, because you can't just get free water around here, because it's not like the US where we are very, what's the right word for it? We're very blessed to have clean water. And I know that this is a long video and probably not part of what you wanted to hear, but it's legit how my day went, and I persevered and I remained positive. I don't know how tomorrow's gonna work out. I messaged that bank branch that owns that ATM, so I'm gonna stop there in the morning as soon as they open and pray to God that they can like take my card out of there and give it back to me. So yeah, that's how today went. And for some odd reason, like, I love this hotel. It's amazing. I have nothing but great things. I'll definitely be staying here again. But one of the things that really sucks about this hotel is I have to check out by 10 a.m. And that bank opens at 8, so I have 2 hours to spare to get my freaking card out of the ATM machine, hopefully. Otherwise, I'm gonna be screwed and have no money until I get home. Yeah, it's gonna work out. Something's gotta give. This is a learning lesson, and I'm trying really hard not to cry. The people at the tattoo shop are super amazing. If you come to Bali, check out their artists. The name of their tattoo shop, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on a lot of stuff because I'm a little flustered today. They're called Luxury Ink in Bali. So I think they have 3 locations, but the one I went to is in Seminyak. They're super nice. Everyone was very personable, and the local people in Bali are freaking amazing. So if you do travel to Bali, you'll love them, because almost everyone is smiling, and they're just very, like, you can tell it's like their heart space. I don't know if it's because they're centered in their culture and like their religion and centered with God, but I think today's reminder was, I'm gonna get choked up about this. Today's was a reminder that God always, you just have just enough every time. And I think that maybe that's the learning lesson of this trip too, is he's trying to prove to me that I always have just enough and not to worry. And here I am, like, stressing and like freaking out in my head. Like, this trip, I had the best day of my life 2 days ago when I was in Nusa Penida, and it was a day that I was kind of feeling like, and then I turned my mood around and I ran into Bill and Tim, and then I ran into people from Nepal. Just like incredible people, and I have nothing but good things to say. And I think one of the things that this trip really opened my eyes up to was having faith in humanity, that there are kind people out there, and there are people like me that do care. Because, I mean, I don't want to boast about anything, but like, I've seen homeless people. There was a guy in Duluth when I was at my sister's wedding. There were 2 people in the same night. Like, I was like, what do you need? Like, I don't have any cash on me. So I went and bought him a coffee and a sandwich. It didn't matter to me what the, like, it's just, at the end of the day, it was just money. And I would rather have somebody have a full belly than go hungry at night. I don't care if they're on drugs or what. Somebody's got to eat. And I'm just feeling very blessed right now. And I just had enough for water. Like, how much money? I have 6,000 rupees to spare. So if I wanted, I might be able to buy a really small one, but I just had enough to buy water. So that's kind of my story for today. It was a little stressful. And one thing that I want to thank Carissa for is when I was crying, I kept apologizing. She looked at me, she's like, girl, if you need to cry, let it out. And I think I've just been sucking in the tears this whole trip because a lot of times I'm embarrassed on my channel. Like, I cry a lot because I'm a very sensitive person, but that's just who I am, you know? And it's very bittersweet leaving here. That's the tears. I love it here. I love the people. I just love it. I love the weather. I love the ocean. I love the trees. I love the sunshine. I love the people that I met. It's been a very humbling experience. Good God. Gotta get some water. I'm parched, but I've been talking for like 11 minutes here. But yeah, that's how my day went. I think I'm gonna turn this vlog into tomorrow so you can see my situation with my credit card. You're living in the US. Thank God for water, clean water, because not everybody has it. And that was eye-opening as well, because you can't go anywhere without having to buy it. And it's cheap, but it adds up. So anyway, it's almost midnight. I'm gonna wash my face and go to bed. I'm gonna take a shower in the morning, wash my tattoo, and hope to God it's good on the plane. And I'm gonna pack my bag here. I might do it in the morning when my brain's working, but shit, I'm not gonna get much sleep. Anyway, guys, it's actually almost 12:30, so peace out. I'll see you in the morning. Morning, peeps. Time to try and get my credit card out of the ATM. Hopes and prayers. I have my luggage packed up. I wanted to make sure I could get this closed before I left because I didn't want that to stress me out, so that's done. Gotta put that away, and pretty much everything else is packed up over here. Right, now here's the hopes and prayers that I can get the dang thing out of there. Wish me luck. So apparently, I went to the bank and I'm walking back because I'm really upset and I need time to cool off. I looked at the guy and he's like, yeah, our process is 5 days, so looks like I won't be getting my credit card out of the machine. Not his fault, but he wasn't even like willing to help me. I was like, I literally have no money to get home. I'm walking because I'm either gonna cry or I don't know. I think I may have figured out a way to eat some food because I haven't eaten since lunch yesterday. I'm gonna try and order Grab food. So I'm kind of trying to cut costs and walk home, but this has been interesting. Thank God that this happened the day before I left. Could you imagine if this would have happened at the beginning of my trip? So I'm trying to be humble and patient and kind and try not to freak out. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have much to say other than this sucks. Okay, so this might be a little bit embarrassing, but I'm gonna have to order food like from down the street. And I would go there and eat it, but I don't really have a way to pay for it, so hoping this works. Address details. Oh, I gotta figure this out. I'll let you know how it goes. We'll see how this goes. Thank God. I have food and I have coffee so I don't lose some more patience. It's about as much water as I have left. Till I get on the airplane. Alrighty, so I ate and I already feel 100 times better. I think that was my problem. I was just getting a little hangry. That happens to me. Got a full belly full of food, got some coffee, leftover water. I'm not gonna drink that. Actually, I have to finish it before I go through the airport process, but hopefully by the time I get on the plane, They'll be like, hey, do you want something to drink? I'll be like, yeah, I'm really thirsty. So, yeah. Oh my God, what an experience. I'm a lot more calmed down. I was in panic mode when I get in those moods, like I can't really talk to anybody or do anything. Something I'm trying to work on, so to speak. I don't want to be like that when I'm really upset or worked up like that. Like I put my head down and I can't talk to anybody. So yeah, it's a learning process. We're growing here, but I get to go home. I'm excited to go home because I got to figure out my shit. Bittersweet. I love Bali. I think the next time I come here, I want to try and stay for a month, but I need to figure out how I'm going to do that financially and along with a lot of other things. But yeah, we're gonna head to the airport. I might bring you guys with me for the experience. Don't ask me how I fit all this in here. I did it. I'm proud of myself. I had to double check the room and then I'm checking out. Oh, by the way, check out my fit check. I got these shorts that look like a skirt. They're Derek Lamb, and then this is a Walmart special. These shorts are like $245 retail. I got them for like 10 or 20 bucks. Okay, the hotel staff is literally so freaking nice. They let me keep my luggage there. I didn't even have to ask. They're like, do you want to keep your luggage here? And I was like, oh, I can keep it here to go explore. And they're like, yeah. And they're like, just let us know what time that you want to bring it back. And so I get to enjoy the waves for a little bit. So, wow, the tide really came in. So they did me a solid. I was really bummed. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to see the ocean before I leave. Everything happens for a reason. I'm beyond blessed. Really, I don't know. I feel like there's people up there. Oh well. Yeah, it's been quite the ride. I can't believe I did this all by myself. Obviously, I'm not to the airport yet. Hang on. You're dirty. So, it's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping that, you know, I do have another credit card, but I gotta wait for one of the payments to go through, so that should be through when I get back to the States. It has to be because I have to pay for my parking. Oh God. It's been interesting. Maybe they'll let me charge the card that's on file because that's the one that is in the frickin' ATM machine, but it's been quite the experience. So if you end up traveling internationally, make sure you have at least, I want to say 3 cards or 2, at least 2. You always want to have at least one backup. I was an idiot and scheduled my payment out on the actual due date. If I would have did that with my other credit card, I wouldn't have been this screwed, but it is what it is. It happened for a reason, and I think maybe it happened so I can like show somebody, like, don't do what I did, you know? Don't be stupid. And thank God for Marco being there, because I would have never paid for my tattoo. You know how embarrassing that would have been? Like, what are the chances? Like, I've only ran into 2 people from the US this entire trip. I've been here for 12 days, mind you. The first set was when I was hiking Mount Batur, and then Marco was the second person. He happened to be in the tattoo shop at the same time as me, so I don't believe in coincidences. I know that God's got my back, and I'm just following intuition. But like this morning, I was extremely stressed out. I was trying not to be, but I was worrying, and then I walked because that helped me blow some of my steam off, because I knew if I would have sat in the car, I would have just stewed more and more, and so just kind of got that energy out and I walked it off. So I'm gonna enjoy this for a little bit, and then I got a message to the Klook counter. I'm gonna make travel tips. I've said this before, but if you end up traveling to Bali and you're from the US or anywhere else, you want to make sure that you book a pocket Wi-Fi. It's klook.com. I'll put the information down below. And you want to make sure you book it before your trip because they're not always there. And then you want to make sure that you have WhatsApp downloaded. It's an app to like stay in communication, but yeah. Wow, these waves are really rolling in quick. We're close. I'm not going to be in the sun because I don't have any sunscreen on and I don't want to ruin my tattoos, so yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this, but I have a lot of travel tips and I'm gonna make a whole Bali video and talk about like what I did, what I learned, where to rent stuff. I'm still learning, but I think I can make a video based off of my experience. So if you are from the US traveling to Bali, you're not shit out of luck like I was a lot of times. So I learned a lot, I grew a lot, and yeah, let's enjoy this.
And then I sell this one and then sarong.
She does. I'll put her Instagram information down below so you can support her.
Yeah. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you. Yeah.
She was literally so sweet. She said just because I was nice to her, she gave me a bracelet. What a sweetie. Hi, Angie.
Drown out the sound. I wish I knew what you were thinking of. Is this thing in my head delusional till I die, babe? At least we stand a chance then, right? It's been years and it still kills me. Your dynamite, so fucking pretty. Hold on, darling, don't let me down. Hope that you feel it too, just give me a sign. 'Cause I know it ain't over. You feel it too, right? So until next time, hold on, darling, don't let me go. I wanna savor the soul, just hold me close. 'Cause I know it ain't over. You feel it too, right? So until next time, I'll leave alone and just like that I'm back to being sober. We'll leave it all aside 'cause this way will never be over. You leave alone and just like that you're back to being sober. You feel it too, right? So until next time.
We made it to the car! I had a 13 layover in Seattle last night. Bruh, I gotta pay for my parking. So one of the payments on my other credit cards came out, so I actually have money. I have to go get a new bank card probably tomorrow. I don't feel like doing that today. I really am in dire need of washing my tattoo and putting lotion on it. Kinda has me a little worrisome, but I think as soon as I get home, I have to pick up my dog. And then, the hell are we here? I'm gonna pick up my dog and then go home and shower. That's the first thing I'm gonna do, wash my tattoo. I bought some like tearless baby shampoo, not shampoo, but like baby soap, because that was all I could find. I couldn't find any antibacterial soap at the, at the freaking, oh my god, the airport. Words, Tyler. English. Press 1 for English. Oh, I gotta pull my thing up here. I'll talk to you guys in a second.
Get in there.
Hey, everybody! What the? Oh, my dog! It's my baby! Oh, my puppy! Oh! Cricky! My Cricky! Little baby. Hi, dogs!
Don't jump on my leg, it's gnarly.
Come on. Hey, everybody. Oh, I know it is. Hey, Karen. Little chiquito. Look at him. Hi, Mr. Pants.
I don't know where your grandpa went. Come on. He left without us. Come on. Come on, weenie. Ah, my leg feels so good. All right, we're home. Just to show you guys, like, obviously you probably don't want to see my dirty laundry, but just to give you a reference, this is all the stuff that I wore in 2 weeks. This is all the stuff that I didn't. I didn't need half of this. I'm probably gonna wash a bunch of this though because my stank ass clothes got on the clean stuff and I wanna make sure it smells good. So I'm gonna do some loads of laundry, and then I also have like a bunch of sports bras and stuff that I packed, some more socks, extra underwear and stuff over here. But I didn't need half, I only needed half of that amount. So if you pack for 2 weeks for Bali, you only need about that much. If that helps you out. Alright, you guys, we're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It feels good to be showered. It feels good to have that tattoo cleaned. I didn't talk about this in the video. I kind of cut myself off there for a second. So to keep this thing clean, I mentioned I bought baby soap. I couldn't find antibacterial soap at any of those smaller stores. By the time I started looking for anything that was open at this Seattle, Washington airport, when like I finally like had money left on. Sorry about that, my battery died. I knew better. I knew to swap it out. Anyway, so here I am in the airport by myself, Seattle, Washington. I have a 13-hour layover. 13 hours. Mind you, I think my flight from DPS, which is Denpasar, I think is how you pronounce it, Bali to Taipei, China, which is basically Taiwan. I think it was like 5.5 hours. I had a 2.5 layover, and then I had a 13-hour flight, 13-hour layover in Seattle, and then it was like I think a 3-hour flight back, and then my flight kind of got delayed a little bit, but the pilot went extra quick. So anyway, I got back on time. But anyway, back the bus up a little bit. To clean my tattoo, I was like super, what's the word for it? I swapped my clothes out already. I went from like shorts to sweatpants. I packed 2 extra set of pants in there because I knew I would have needed clean pants because I don't want to keep, like, make my tattoo, I don't want to make my tattoo dirty. So my idea is I took the baby soap and I bought a bottle of water, like a big Dasani bottle of water. And here I am in the freaking bathroom. I washed my hands first. Didn't touch the doors, touched it with my sleeves, and then I ended up washing like my tattoo and like pouring water into the toilet and trying not to make it sus because like as I was doing that, they're announcing over the intercom, please announce if there's any suspicious activity, and I'm like, shit. Oh my god, I'm gonna get in trouble. Anyway, so I ended up cleaning my tattoo, got water all over the bathroom floor in the freaking airport, so I'm grabbing paper towels and cleaning that up, and by this time it's like midnight, right? And I'm tired as heck, couldn't find anywhere to sit. And then, because since my layover was so long, I didn't have my connecting flight, it didn't like say which gate it was gonna be at. So I was like, oh, I paid no mind. I was working on my computer editing one of the YouTube videos that I'm gonna be that was posted before this now, but I was editing videos, I got carried away, and by this point, there was an announcement over the intercom that basically gave like a warning that they were gonna shut the trams down until like 4 a.m. and I was like, shit, I better figure out which gate I'm at. So lo and behold, I had to jump 2 trains. I had to take 2 shuttles, or not 2 shuttles, but 2 trams to get to the correct gate. So I got there just in the nick of time, and they actually had like actual beds. I'm happy I checked it out because like otherwise I would have been sleeping on the floor. I think I got like 2 or 3 hours of sleep last night. And I didn't talk about this, but it was a freaking nightmare. I don't know what it was, but it's like no matter how hard I tried to leave Bali, stuff just kept going south. Like the ATM swallowed my credit card. I thought it was my debit card because I'm an idiot and I panicked, and those Australian girls helped me. Canceled the freaking debit card. Lo and behold, it was my credit card that's stuck in the machine. I still have yet to call the company. Couldn't log on to that account and cancel anything off there because, well, it knew, like my phone somehow knew that, I think it was because of my location, this light's bothering me. It must have knew my location, that I wasn't obviously in the United States, and it was like suspicious activity, which I'm not complaining. Props to that credit card company. But I couldn't get onto my account and like log on and like send a message to anybody to cancel it, so I'm gonna have to have all that ironed out. I have so many tips to give you guys when you travel internationally, and I wasn't gonna make this a part of the video, but it is part of the experience, and I ended up learning a lot. Like when I got to the airport, I got a ride because thankfully my credit card was the one on file. The one that got swallowed by the ATM that was not canceled was on my Grab account. I ended up getting food like you saw in the video, and then I was able to get a ride there to the airport, and the driver he wasn't being very nice to me, and I was like, I need to depart. Like, I didn't understand how the airport works. So if you are going to the airport, there are 3 floors. departures are on the top floor, and if you do end up renting a pocket Wi-Fi, again, I'm gonna make a separate video on this to help you guys out because I wished I would have knew this stuff. The Klook counter where I rented the pocket Wi-Fi from, I'll give you all the details of this, I promise, in a separate video. It's downstairs on the first floor, so you end up taking the elevator. So the driver was being super rude to me, and I was like, do you know? And he's like, well, there are 3 floors. And I was like, okay, that's all I needed to know, was that there was more than 1 floor. Because like in Minneapolis, there's Terminal 1 and Terminal 2. I didn't know if it was that situation. There's 3 terminals in Minneapolis. So I was like, I hope to God I'm getting dropped off at the correct one. Lo and behold, it was. That went smooth. I get to checking in my bag, and China Airlines decides they want to mess with me. And like, I didn't have any problems getting my bag checked in. I was 10 pounds under like the limit for Alaska Airlines when I ended up leaving. And the guy's like, oh, by the way, you're 10 kilos over. And I was like, well, do you know how much that is in pounds? Because at this point, I didn't have any Wi-Fi because, well, I returned my pocket Wi-Fi, and so I couldn't do the conversion. Because, like, you can tell me 10 kilos all day, but I use standard. We don't use the metric system in America here, obviously. And the guy was kind of being rude about it. He's like, well, you can go buy another bag. And I was like, look, this is a situation. The ATM swallowed my credit card. And I don't know what it is, but I told like 2 or 3 people this. And they looked at me like I was lying. And it's like, I wished I was lying. I wished I was making all of this up. And I'm telling this guy, I was like, look, this is the situation. I can't. He's like, well, you can just go get another bag. I was like, yeah, with what money? I don't have any money to get home. Like, I have nothing. I have no way of paying for stuff other than my Grab account where my credit card was filed on, so I could like get food and get rides and stuff. And I didn't explain that part to him because it didn't matter. And he was kind of being a jackass about it. And I was like, well, what do you advise I do? I was like, I need to get home. Like, I have to go home. Like, I have no way to survive. I have no way to get a hotel. Like, I have no way to get money. And he's like, well, you can go buy another bag. I'm like, yeah, with what money? I don't have any. And I was like, he's like, or you can just pay because it's over. Well, I forgot that the Klook counter, they took like a $40 deposit from me. They wanted $50, and all I had on me was $40 at the time, and I gave them USD. And so I asked them at the counter, I was like, well, do you guys take USD? And he smirks at me, and he goes, nope. And I'm like, well, I got $40 in US cash and that's all I have. And he's like, yeah, it's $100 US. I was like, so let me get this straight. You would let me check 2 huge bags for free, but since this bag is 10 kilos over, you want to charge me $100 for a bag that's overweight. He's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm like, oh, you want to talk about mother? And so I was like, you know what? There I was, being that shitty tourist, like, because I just had it at this point. Like, he wasn't working with me. And so what did I do? The obvious. What he probably didn't want to see. I opened my bag in front of everybody, and I pulled shit out of there. I pulled out my makeup bag and a pair of tennis shoes. I think at this point it was maybe just my makeup bag. I don't know. It was a couple of things. Set it back on the scale. Okay, I got 5 more kilos to go, so I pulled some more stuff out. So there I was in the Denpasar airport trying to carry all of my shit around. My hands were full, and I was thirsty as hell. I had no water on me, obviously. Well, here we go. I'm going through security, and they flag my bag, and I'm like, great. Like, obviously, I took my laptop out of there. I took all my electronics out. Or maybe no. I forgot what the reason was, but they flagged it down. The guy was super nice there. Just like, I kept hitting roadblock after roadblock, and I was like, okay, well, they have to have a water machine here. It's an airport, like, you know, because obviously they tell you not to drink the water in Bali. So I get up to where all of the ticketing gates are, and I finally find a water station, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna fill my water bottle up, and it's gonna be awesome, and I'm gonna get home safely, and this is gonna be a great experience. Well, the guy in front of me has 4 water bottles. Obviously, he was a father, and he had kids. And he fills up the first 2, and the machine quits working. Are you kidding? And he goes, it's not working, it's out of order. Here I was trying to be resilient. I'm like, that's okay, I'll go find another machine. I walked to the opposite end of the building. We were on that floor, no water machine. Went back to the middle, tried it, still broken. Walked to the other opposite. Granted, I'm carrying around all of this stuff that I pulled out of my bag because they weren't willing to work with me. And lugging around all this stuff looking like a freaking clown. And I'm just getting like angrier and angrier. And I was like, Tyler, it's not a big deal. But I was thirsty. I was tired. I didn't sleep the night before because I tried to get like the situation, like try to get my credit card out of the ATM. It was a 5-day process. I'm just like, dude, I can like at this point I felt like I couldn't win. And so I just sat down. I was like, well, I guess I'll just have to wait until they like serve food on the plane. So that's what I did. I didn't get any liquids in me. So then like, this is TMI, but since I was dehydrated, on top of it, I'm constipated, so I can't go to the bathroom. And I have a fresh tattoo on my leg. So then I get to Seattle and I'm washing. I don't advise this, but I had no other way of cleaning my tattoo. Like I was just worried. So I had these antibacterial wipes. Didn't use those on my tattoo. I cleaned off the toilet seat, dried it off. Like I washed my hands before all of this. After I cleaned off the toilet seat, I washed my hands again. And then I decided to stick my leg, like hover it over the toilet bowl and like dump it over my leg and like wash it with the baby soap. And the floor was all full of water, so I had to clean up that mess. And then I get to the Seattle airport and my layover is 13 hours, and dude, like, it was a cluster. But I do want to say that when I did get to Minneapolis, everything went really freaking smooth. Like, I got off the plane, I walked as fast as I could, used the restroom. I walked out of the restroom, the bags were coming down, lo and behold, there mine was. I grabbed it, walked down the escalator and the other one, and there it was, just in the nick of time. There was my shuttle, the one that I use, like the company that I use where I park my car at. There they were waiting, and people were like filing in. There were like 2 people left outside, and I caught the tail end of the thing and I got a ride, and then I ended up getting out of there. But how I was able to pay for the parking, like I said, was I did have a backup credit card. This is gonna sound bad. It was maxed out. I'm just gonna be honest. And my payment, like my $1,000 payment, wasn't supposed to come out until, well, it was supposed to come out like that Saturday or Sunday. Well, banks are closed. It's not gonna come out. So I knew by the time I reached Seattle, it would have cleared the bank and I would have been able to use my credit card. So that is what I used to get the hell out of the park and ride. Or yeah, basically the park and ride. So yeah, it all ended up working out. But let me tell you, the last 2 or 3 days of my travel were really stressful, like that and then Mount Batur. But like anything other than that, I just want to say, I feel like I'm shouting at the camera, but I feel like my time in Bali was extremely, it was a beautiful experience. I learned a lot. It was my first solo trip by myself ever, and I'm really proud of myself for staying resilient. I have faith in humanity. There were strangers that jumped in and helped me, and I didn't expect anything from anybody. My nice little friend, she gave me this bracelet on the beach. She's just a sweetheart. I met a girl from China on the plane. I met a guy, I talked to him in Seattle. His name was Phil. He was a firefighter. Lost his wife 4 years ago. He's traveling all over the place. Like, there have been hidden gems within this trip, and my trip to Nusa Penida by far was probably the best. It was the best experience. I wished I had more time there. I couldn't help but feel like it just wasn't enough time there. Like, I wished I could have stayed a month, but obviously I have bills to pay and I have a business to run. Down the road, eventually, I do want to spend 1 to 6 months there. We'll see how things pan out in my life. I really don't know what direction. I don't know. I was thinking about all this on the plane, and like I was fighting really negative thoughts because like I don't. It's not funny. I shouldn't be laughing, but if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry. I don't know what's next for my life, and I could look at it as a negative thing, but I think that every single time that I get worrisome or whatever, and I'm like starting to run out of money, something happens, I get a job, or an order comes through, or like what saved my ass this time was my tax. Like, I did end up getting a small return from taxes because, well, I didn't make a lot of my art business last year. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about my finances on my channel, but it was a hell of a ride if you watched it. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, maybe my videos I'm like talking too much, because like right now I've been talking for probably 10 minutes. Just explain the situation, because there was a lot that happened, and if I didn't explain this stuff and I didn't talk the way I did, I wouldn't be Tyler. Like, this is just how I am. I want my videos to be like a sit-down conversation. Like, there's gonna be action in there. I'm gonna give more in depth of like, you know, local people if I'm traveling, or you know, little shops and little detail thoughts and things like that. I'm a little sleep deprived. This jet lag's getting to me. Yeah, anyway, I don't really remember what I was saying. I kind of got distracted a little bit. Doesn't take a lot, but yeah, I hope that you enjoyed these Bali videos. It was very fly by the seat of my pants. It was very adventurous, and I hope that I can do, well, I don't hope. I hope, but I also know I'm gonna do more traveling. I'm gonna figure out a way how to do this, but I do want to end up like improving my, you know, up-leveling my equipment, because obviously I just have this tiny little Sony ZV-1 vlogging camera, but you know what? In order to start, you gotta use what you have. So I am gonna go try to take a poo, take a big shitter, and I think I'm gonna lounge on the couch, maybe watch some TV. I usually don't do that, but I am extremely exhausted, and then tomorrow morning I have to pack some orders. We'll see how much energy I have. Maybe I'll start an art vlog tomorrow. We'll see. I have to pack 2 orders for my website and ship those out. So anyways, if you made it to the end of this video, everything turned out. I got home safely. It was a big learning lesson, and if you travel out of the country, make sure you have 1 or 2 backup cards. I'm just saying, because it happens. And use like one of the bigger, like, you know, like you could tell if there's like a nice ATM and it's by like a gas station, that there's like 3, they have like those little stalls. If there's like 3 stalls, you know, it's like, you know what I'm trying to say, it's not like one of those smaller branch banks, but use one of the bigger ones. It's just my 2 cents. But anyway, thank you so much for making it till the end. Everything did end up panning out. I'm gonna get some sleep here, try and take a big poo, and until the next time of homages, I'm hoping that'll be tomorrow, maybe the next day, sometime this week. So, love you guys. Bye. Peace.